It's Daybreak here on the Rise News. Time for the press preview. A first look at what's on the front pages as they arrive. Let's take a look at our sister publication This Day. Its leading headline this morning: Naira scarcity. President Buhari, Bagudu, Tambuwal, Emefiele, Bawa meet and seek solution. Some riders there. The president cancels meeting with NGF over Supreme Court action. CBN has no plan to taught polls with a Naira shortage, says Apex Bank governor. Meanwhile, the federal government blames opposition for politicizing policy. CBN has disbursed over 1 billion Naira to banks in Edo in 3 days. That's according to the state government. Ganduje alleges plot to disrupt democracy, and the TUC gives federal government a 7-day ultimatum to address currency and also fuel shortages. Now, that leading photo there with the caption, Buhari in audience with the NGF chair, CBN governor, and the EFCC, with all of them with big smiles on their face. Nigerian citizens are definitely not smiling. More headlines this morning. PDP says APC's candidate hoarding cash causing Nigerians pains. Tinubu says opposition creating national siege to disrupt elections. Hold me, my family responsible if I fail to perform. That's from the Labour Party candidate Obi. And from the NNPP candidate Kwakwanso, he says he will prioritize education and security. Above the nameplate of This Day this morning, the court discharges, acquits Omokari firms of $1.6 billion fraud allegations, and 48% of Nigerians now live below poverty line. That's according to the Humanitarian Affairs Minister.
Right, let's see what the Sun is saying on its front page. Angry bank, again, gunmen invade cop spokesperson's home. Okay, angry bank customers destroy ATMs, vehicles as 3 riders barricade highways as banks shut down operations in Lagos. Buhari meets leadership of Governors Forum. Emefiele. Nigerians reaching breaking point. This is coming from NLC. Don't use Ebubago for election. Police warn Southeast governors. Wike makes U-turn, reapproves stadium for Atiku's rally. And Ajero finally emerges NLC president as Waba bows out. CBN won't be used to scuttle the election. This is coming from Emefiele, the central bank governor, assures INEC of funds to pay service providers. How Obi and I will transform Nigeria. This is coming from Dati. And just beside the logo of Daily Sun, Nigeria fed up with APC, says Atiku outlines measures to address poverty if he gets the plum job.
The Punch newspaper with similar headlines this morning. Naira crisis may disrupt polls. INEC warns Emefiele. NSA. Some of our service providers have no bank accounts. Commission laments. Buhari governors meeting shelved. Minister says president's hands are tied. Some banks shut branches over customers' attacks as CBN calls for calm. Those leading photos there showing some protests in Ogun State, Ondo, and Edo as they storm banks and demand cash. Some protesters have also been expressing their anger and destroying bank properties. They're not only protesting the prolonged Naira crisis, they're also protesting against fuel crisis facing the nation. Some of the protesters made bonfires, blocked roads in those states. More headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Fuel price to skyrocket as marketers threaten shut down. APC Vice Chair says how powerful forces tried to stop Tinubu candidacy.
All right, let's look at the Tribune newspaper. It's still on the fuel crisis and the Naira crisis. TUC, NLC demand immediate action from Buhari and CBN. Buhari meets Tambuwal, Bagudu, Emefiele in private cancels meeting with governors. CBN won't be used to frustrate February-March polls. Emefiele is saying that. He's assuring INEC, don't be scared. Come out to vote. The NSA urges Nigerians. And then, of course, that picture you're seeing, we read this morning, more than 7,000 people have died in the earthquake that happened in Turkey and then dovetailed to Syria. And then stray bullet hits one as protests rock Abeokuta, Ondo, Benin. Youths block Biniore Lagos Road over Naira fuel scarcity crisis. On the topmost, IGP orders posting redeployment of DIGs, AIGs, and CPs. Lagos, Ogu. Get new CPs. 2023 elections must not be truncated. Atta the court. Others tell Buhari and INEC.
Let's take a look at the Guardian Air Nigeria this morning. Leading headline, currency swap. Buhari cancels a meeting with governors as the TUC issues ultimatum. Buhari meets Bagudu, Tambuwal, Emefiele and the EFCC boss. Tinubu bankers call for calm. PDP hoarding of new Naira notes causing Nigerians pain. Meanwhile, protests rock Ondo and Ogun State. More headlines. Wike backtracks, approves stadium for Atiku's rally. And just at the bottom there, INEC chair meets Emefiele, demands concessions for election operations.
Right, let's go to the foreign papers. And we're starting with the Independent newspaper. The Independent. You see that picture there? Life and death in the ruins. It says 20,000 feared dead in earthquake carnage. 23 million lives blighted by disaster, says WHO. Just some of what is being said. Rescue teams are in a race against time to find survivors of the devastating earthquakes that struck Turkey and Syria, with fears that the final death toll could reach 20,000. Search teams from several countries, as well as almost 25,000 rescue workers from Turkey, have spread out across the huge area that has been affected by the tremors, rain, snow, and plummeting temperatures at night have hampered such efforts, with the result that a number of areas have so far been left without help. That is on the front page of the Independent.
Now, the Guardian UK headlines, monstrous rapist ex-Met officer jailed for life after years of attacks. David Carrick, who believed his position as a Metropolitan Police officer made him untouchable as he raped, assaulted and inflicted irretrievable destruction on at least 12 women before intimidating them into silence, has now been jailed for life. And just below that, a picture of a father clinging to the hand of his daughter, who's 15, who died after Monday's earthquake hit Turkey and Syria.
The I-Paper, amidst all the bad news and the tragedy, raced to find quick survivors. Newborn baby is rescued from rubble. We heard a voice while we were digging. That is good news. So, survivor from family was still attached to her mother by umbilical cord. That toll passes 7,200 as 400,000 people in Turkey seek shelter in shopping centers, sports stadiums, and mosques after homes are flattened. Aftershocks, damaged roads, and freezing temperatures hamper rescuers after 7.8 magnitude quake in southern Turkey and northern Syria. This is the biggest earthquake over some years.
Now, the Financial Times, some headlines this morning. Sunak breaks up business departments to sharpen focus on energy and science. Meanwhile, BP slows retreat from fossil fuels after oil and gas drive record profit of $28 billion.
All right, just before we begin to take off, just back in the eye, Sunak's reshuffle ruffles feathers in Whitehall. He's reshuffling his cabinet. All right. Well, that's it for sure.